Imagine you're a howler monkey living on Barro Colorado Island in Panama. For nearly 90 years, since 1923, when this island became a biological reserve, your species has lived without significant predators. You nest in open locations, vocalize freely, move leisurely through the canopy. Life is predictable. Your population is controlled by disease, not fear. Then one day in the early 2000s, two massive birds arrive, captive-bred Harpy eagles. Earth's largest eagle, with talons the size of grizzly bear claws and wingspans reaching 7 feet. Within weeks, everything changes. According to research, those two Harpy eagles, one male, one female, transformed the entire island's ecosystem. One female transformed the entire island's ecosystem. During a 294-day observation period, when nearly all kills were documented, the female captured prey every 4.39 days, the male every 3.71 days. Primates were taken 34.78% of the time by the female, 12% by the male. The clear majority of primate kills were howler monkeys, 1% for the female, 100% for the male. All howler troops on the island were exposed to predation many times. But here's what horrified scientists. The monkeys had no idea how to respond. They had lived without aerial predators for so long that their anti-predator behaviors had atrophied. When researchers played recordings of Harpy eagle attack calls, the howler monkeys froze in terror, unable to process what they were hearing. Some fled in random directions. Others simply stared at the sky, paralyzed. They were evolutionary, unprepared for a threat their grandparents' had never faced. This is the story of one of the most significant predator-prey reintroduction experiments in modern conservation science, and why it revealed uncomfortable truths about what happens when apex predators return to ecosystems that have forgotten how to fear them. Let's find out together. Right now, you're looking at Barro Colorado Island, a 3,900-acre island in the middle of the Panama Canal, created when the canal was flooded in 1914. This island has been a biological reserve since 1923, continuously monitored by resident biologists for almost a century. It's one of the most studied tropical ecosystems on Earth, with detailed population records going back generations. By the early 2000s, BCI supported thriving primate populations. Approximately 65 troops of howler monkeys, with an average of 19 members each, plus robust populations of white-faced capuchins, spider monkeys, and Jeffrey's marmosets. These primates had virtually no relevant predators. Occasional visits from boa constrictors and large cats occurred, but nothing that created sustained predation pressure. Disease was the primary population regulator, not predation. Then conservationists made a decision that would transform this predator-free paradise into a hunting ground. They introduced to captive-bred subadult Harpy eagles to study how reintroduced apex predators would interact with prey populations that had lost anti-predator behaviors. The Harpy eagle, Harpia harpygia, is the most powerful raptor in the Americas. Females weigh 14 to 20 pounds with wingspans up to 7 feet. Males are smaller, weighing 8.5 to 12 pounds. But size doesn't capture their terrifying capabilities. Their talons are 3 to 4 inches long, larger than grizzly bear claws. Their grip strength exceeds 500 pounds per square inch. They can snatch prey weighing 15 to 20 pounds from tree branches while in flight and carry it away without landing. In their native range across Central and South American rainforests, Harpy eagles are apex predators specializing in arboreal mammals. Research from 9 Harpy eagle nests in Mato Grosso, Brazil, analyzed 1,661 prey specimens representing a minimum of 234 individuals. Primates comprise 63.8% of all prey. The eagles preyed mostly on medium-sized capuchin and bearded saki monkeys, 28.2%, large woolly monkeys representing 11.5% despite weighing up to 22 pounds. When the 2 Harpy eagles were released on Barro Colorado Island, scientists equipped them with radio transmitters to track their movements and hunting success. The results were staggering. The eagles quickly learned the island's geography, identified monkey troops' locations, and began systematically hunting them. During the 294-day intensive observation period, the female Harpy captured prey every 4.39 days, the male every 3.71 days. This is remarkably frequent for large raptors, which often go many days between successful hunts. The high success rate reflected two factors: the eagle's hunting prowess and the monkey's complete lack of effective defensive behaviors. Primates were the primary prey. The female took primates 34.78% of the time, the male 12%. The disparity reflects sexual dimorphism larger. Females could more easily handle adult monkeys, while smaller males focused more on easier prey. Howler monkeys bore the brunt. 81% of the females' primate kills, 100% of the males. This wasn't random predation. All Howler troops on the island were exposed to Harpy attacks many times. The eagles were systematically hunting every monkey population, creating island-wide predation pressure that hadn't existed for nearly a century. Scientists designed experiments to understand how monkeys responded to this return threat. They created 4 test groups. First, mainland howlers from areas with active Harpy populations presented with Harpy attack calls. Second, BCI howlers during the Harpy presence period presented with Harpy calls. Third, BCI howlers after the Harpies were removed presented with Harpy calls. And fourth, BCI howlers presented with attack calls from other bird species as controls. The results revealed something extraordinary. Mainland howlers that coexisted with Harpies responded immediately and appropriately to attack calls. They froze, scanned the sky, huddled together, and if they spotted the threat, fled rapidly in coordinated groups while giving alarm vocalizations that warned other troops. BCI howlers during the Harpy presence period showed mixed responses. Some learned appropriate anti-predator behaviors through direct exposure. Troops that had been attacked developed better responses over time. But many monkeys still responded inadequately, fleeing in uncoordinated ways or freezing in exposed locations. Most tellingly, BCI howlers tested after the Harpies were removed still showed fear responses to Harpy calls. Even though the eagles were gone, the monkeys remembered. Fear had been relearned after nearly a century without it. But here's what horrified scientists most: the speed at which evolutionary behaviors can be lost, and the difficulty of regaining them. Anti-predator responses are costly. Constant vigilance reduces feeding time. Alarm calling attracts predator attention. Coordinated group defense requires social cohesion. In the absence of predation pressure, these costly behaviors atrophy within generations. When predators return, prey populations pay a terrible price while relearning survival. Research published in the Journal of Great Lakes Research and Other Predator-Prey Interaction Studies confirms this pattern globally. When apex predators are removed from ecosystems, prey populations explode initially but then lose the behavioral repertoires that kept them safe. Vigilance declines. Alarm calling becomes rare. Group cohesion weakens. Prey animals become what scientists call naive, behaviorally unprepared for predation. The Barro Colorado experiment demonstrated this in real time. Howler monkeys that had never seen a Harpy eagle were easier to catch than monkeys from mainland populations with continuous predator exposure. Over the 294-day period, the eagles on BCI had substantially higher hunting success rates than Harpy eagles in mainland forests where monkeys retained full anti-predator behaviors. This created a grim realization for conservation scientists. Reintroducing apex predators into areas where they've been absent for generations could cause catastrophic prey population crashes before behaviors re-evolve. The predator-prey arms race that normally keeps populations in balance is severed when one side has forgotten how to compete. The Harpy eagles were eventually removed from Barro Colorado Island for reasons independent of this research. But the experiment's implications reverberate through modern conservation. Across the globe, conservationists are exploring apex predator reintroductions. Wolves to Yellowstone. Lynx to Colorado? Jaguars to Argentina? Each reintroduction confronts the same question. What happens when predators return to prey that have forgotten fear? The Yellowstone wolf reintroduction provides a comparison. When wolves returned in 1995 after 70 years' absence, elk populations initially suffered severe predation. Elk that had grazed openly in valleys for decades suddenly faced predators they'd never encountered. Calf survival plummeted. Adult elk were killed in situations their ancestors would have avoided. Over years, elk learned vigilance, changed grazing patterns, and developed coordinated group defenses. The ecosystem eventually reached a new equilibrium, but the transition was brutal. The Harpy eagle experiment on Barro Colorado was more controlled and shorter term, but it confirmed the same principle. Prey na vite makes predator reintroduction initially devastating. If the eagles had remained permanently, howler populations might have crashed before behaviors stabilized. This raises profound ethical questions for conservation. Is it acceptable to reintroduce apex predators, knowing prey populations will suffer while relearning fear? Should conservationists prepare prey populations through gradual exposure, perhaps using predator call playbacks or controlled predator presence before full reintroduction? Or is some level of prey population decline an acceptable cost for restoring ecosystem function? Scientists studying the Barro Colorado case believe anti-predator behaviors can be restored within a few generations. If predation pressure remains consistent, the key word is if. Intermittent or temporary predation, like the short-term harpy presence on BC, I may teach fear without allowing full behavioral adaptation. Research from the Brazilian Amazon documents wild harpy eagles preying on multiple primate species. Studies analyzing prey remains at harpy nests consistently show primates as 35 to 64% of kills, with capuchins, howlers, sokus, and spider monkeys most frequently taken. These mainland primates have evolved sophisticated responses. Multi-species alarm systems, where different monkey species warn each other. Coordinated mobbing where groups harass raptors. And escape tactics exploiting harpy eagle flight limitations in dense canopy. Howler monkeys on the mainland give loud, prolonged alarm calls when spotting harpies' vocalizations that can be heard over a kilometer away, warning neighboring troops. They flee toward the densest canopy, where the eagle's large wingspan limits maneuverability. Groups split up, forcing the eagle to choose a target while others escape. None of these behaviors existed on Barro Colorado before the harpy introduction. The island monkeys had no alarm call vocabulary for aerial predators. They didn't recognize the silhouette of a perched raptor as dangerous. They moved through open canopy, where eagles could strike easily. The experiment demonstrated that evolution works both ways. Its behaviors develop under selective pressure and decay in its absence. This has implications far beyond monkeys and eagles. It affects every conservation program considering predator reintroductions. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Ecosystems that have lost apex predators can't simply have them added back like missing puzzle pieces. The ecosystem has changed. Prey populations have changed. Behaviors have changed. Reintroduction is not restoration, but transformation, creating something new that resembles but is not identical to the original. Some scientists argue this is acceptable. Apex predators provide ecological services beyond killing prey. They create landscapes of fear that alter herbivore behavior, reduce overgrazing, allow vegetation recovery, and increase biodiversity. Even if prey populations initially decline, the long-term ecosystem benefits justify the cost. Others counter that prey population crashes during reintroduction could drive already vulnerable species to extinction before adaptation occurs. If howler monkeys on Barro Colorado were endangered rather than abundant, the harpy experiment might have eliminated them entirely. The answer likely depends on context. Abundant prey populations in large ecosystems can withstand predator reintroduction. Small populations in fragmented habitats face higher extinction risk. The Barro Colorado harpy experiment ended, but its lessons continue, shaping conservation globally. Modern predator reintroduction programs now include prey behavioral assessments, gradual exposure protocols, and population monitoring to detect unsustainable declines. Some programs even use predator training for prey-exposing populations to predator cues like scents, calls, or controlled visual encounters to stimulate anti-predator behavior development before full predator reintroduction. It's artificial, but it might reduce the catastrophic learning period when real predators arrive. What remains clear is that ecosystems are not static. They evolve in response to pressures, and removing a pressure for generations creates irreversible change. You cannot simply add predators back and expect the ecosystem to revert. It will transform into something new. The howler monkeys on Barro Colorado learned to fear harpy eagles again, but it took exposure to real predation, real kills, real loss. Evolution is written in blood, and relearning forgotten lessons costs lives. If this story challenged your assumptions about conservation, If you had no idea that prey animals could forget how to respond to predators, then share it. Talk about it, and remember it when conservation programs propose reintroducing apex predators. Because when it comes to ecosystem restoration, the truth is always more complex than bring back the predators. Sometimes the prey have forgotten how to run. Thanks for watching, and next time we'll explore another incredible conservation story that will leave you speechless. Stay curious, stay wild,